Welcome everybody to a very special interview series. It's going to be a really special one. We have Reis O'Brien from Bimtoy here. And how excited are you? Because I know we are super excited. I feel like my head's going to explode. We had a minor chat with Reis before this live, and it was exciting. It was awesome. And I can't wait to actually ask some of the questions that we have, the burning questions. I think I'm ready. Heather, are you ready?
I don't know. I'm as ready as I'll have to be.
And there he is, Reis O'Brien, the man himself. Welcome to the Gastlecast.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. You know, when I reached out to you, I honestly didn't think you would ever read the message because I'm pretty sure you're bombarded with questions or comments on a regular daily basis.
I wouldn't say bombarded. I mean, I get hit up pretty regularly with strange questions or requests or whatever. But no, I remember you guys from a couple of the reviews you did, specifically the Waldegeist review that you guys did. And so I was already familiar with who you guys were. So
that's awesome.
I answer those messages.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because that's kind of what spiraled into what we wanted to do today. We had posted a video about Waldegeist, and you had provided so much feedback. And everybody in the Bimtoy group on Facebook, they were so excited to see all this feedback. How often are you giving feedback like that back to the community? I mean, because it's like a lot of your stuff is full of symbols and things we wonder about.
Yeah, that's kind of the point. But I mean, not a lot. I try to chime in where I think I'll be useful. Like, I don't want to be one of those annoying dudes that's just like, oh, thanks for talking about my stuff. Let me tell you more about what's going on in my brain. You know, like, I'm just not trying to be that guy. Like, but you guys had asked some pretty kind of cool questions, so that's why I chimed in. So I try to chime in where I think I'll be helpful and not like an annoying douche. And sometimes I succeed at that, and sometimes I don't, I imagine.
Yeah, believe me, I do too, a lot. So, Bimtoy, how did Bimtoy actually get its start? Where did this all come from? Where did it start from?
It started up a few years back, I guess about actually kind of shortly after I started working at Funko. I'd been there about a year, and was having the time of my life, and you know, couldn't believe I'd landed this gig, and sometimes I still can't believe it. But one of the things I learned was that you know, I'd work on all these kind of rad projects all day long, and then when I would come home at night, I would still have this like strange stuff in my head that needed to get out. So I started like doing weird things, like taking Sculpey and making weird things. I can't sculpt, so they were all stupid looking. And making weird little goofy toys and taking action figure parts and kit bashing them together. And I threw them up on a Store Envy site. And I called it Bimtoy, and just started kind of doing it there. And then it just kind of like snowballed at that point.
Interesting. So was Tiny Ghost something that's been an idea for a very long time? Is that something that was in your head?
Not at all. Not at all. Out of all the things that are in my head, Tiny Ghost was not even on the radar of what I thought would hit with people as much as it has anyway. It was literally a doodle I did one day, and and then I thought, oh, that's kind of cute. I like it because I liked how simple he was.
Sure.
And I was kind of trying to do that. I was trying to come up with something. I've always liked ghosts. Like, that's nothing new. I've liked ghosts since I was a little kid. And I first had the Weeble Wobble haunted house. And so I've always been obsessed with that white sheet, two black eyes kind of ghost. And so I was trying to come up with like a really simple kind of cute guy. Because I always liked simple characters like Snoopy. Snoopy's very simple. That's why everyone loves him. He as soon as you see him, you visually like, boom, understand him. You know, characters like that. So I was trying to kind of, you know, come up with something like that, and I liked him, so I started making stickers. And then it wasn't until later I decided to try and make resin figures of them, because so many people that were buying the stickers were like, "Yo, make figures of these. We'll give you money for them." I was like, okay. So I started doing that, and then one day it was just an email from Joe at Bottleneck out of the blue, who I didn't know, and he was like, "Hey man, I see what you're doing. You want to make a vinyl of this?" And I was like, "Sure." And then, you know,
That's
And
awesome.
I feel like I've told that story like a million times, but like that's kind of how it happened. But again, like this little ghost was just a doodle that I was just one day.
That is really interesting. You know, it does seem like the most simplistic sometimes ideas are the best, because look at what you can do with that very simplistic doodle. I mean, we get characters like this guy right here. We have who do we have here? This is the Geek Cult, which is one of my all-time favorites. I love this one. Death Cult. So Death Cult is actually one of my questions. I noticed that Death Cult is covered with a lot of symbols and things. Can you kind of give us a little idea behind Death Cult and some of the symbols that are on him?
Yeah, well, so I've always been interested in the occult, but not like here's a big spoiler. Like, I don't really believe in all that shit. I'm a very kind of practical, pragmatic kind of realist. I believe in science, and I believe, but I find the imagery really rad. Like it's just like it goes back to my days in high school looking at heavy metal album covers,
Absolutely, yeah.
and just like, oh, what are these esoteric squiggles, and like, why'd that star upside down? Metal, like. So I just really kind of dug that kind of stuff, and it is kind of pervaded into my artwork. And so like Death Cult's one of those. Like honestly, that's a hodgepodge of just like weird symbols I've seen in like witchcraft books and stuff, and then I twist them, I make them my own, and then combined with that is that one of my more serious hobbies is cryptography. I like codes and ciphers and things like that. So you'll see like the Pigpen cipher on there. That's kind of a popular cipher. So I like dropping secret codes and using symbolism, whether it's based on anything real,
Sure,
or I just made that shit up. Like I just like kind of dropping it in there because I like how it feels. I like the vibe it gives, and I do it. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like I kind of dig it when every now and then I'll get a message where somebody's just like, yo man, that's not cool. That's some devil shit, bro. I'm not down with that. And I'm just like, haha, I tricked you.
There you
I don't
go.
believe any of that crap. So yeah, so Death Cult's like an example of that.
That's cool though. And that's what makes. I mean, it makes the character, right. So it's just interesting. It makes it an interesting talking piece. People come in and they're like, "What the hell does all that mean?" And most of the time, I'm like, "I have no idea."
And that's the point,
right?
Yeah, I mean, a big point of art is to just get people talking. Whether it's talking, like like waxing poetically about how beautiful it is, or getting someone to go, "I don't get it." Like,
sure,
that's art. You want to incite a reaction, and you want to get people kind of talking, and you want to like kind of poke them right in the emotions one way or another, good or bad.
Sure.
That's why there's romantic comedies and horror movies.
Absolutely.
There's room for everything in this world.
Sure.
So yeah, that's kind of how like the cult guys came out.
So, speaking to all of that, you mentioned music and things. What's some of your favorite music? Are you into a lot of black metal, death metal, stuff like that?
Well, I made it no secret, I'm a metalhead, and I have been since I was, 14, I guess. When I first heard Black Sabbath, a kid gave me a cassette on the back of the bus, and he was like, "Here, dude, you like music, check this out." And he played War Pigs by Black Sabbath for me, and I lost my damn mind, but so yeah, I'm a metal guy, but I mean, I'm not only a metal guy. Like, I just that's what I talk about a lot on social media. I'm predominantly a metal guy, but I'm mostly into thrash and death metal. I flirt with black metal. I like their imagery more than I like their music.
Absolutely.
A lot of those bands, like I love the way black metalers look, man, with the corpse paint.
Yes, of course,
and
absolutely.
the spikes and stuff. Like, it's so dope. And then I try to listen to the music, and I'm like, but it's fine. There's fans of people. There's fans for things like that. But yeah, I'm mostly like into thrash and death metal.
Okay. Yeah. So I don't know. You're out there in where you're near California, right? So like
No. I'm up in Washington. I'm up near Everett.
Okay, so you're
Because
up near
I
Everett.
work at Funko HQ.
Okay, gotcha.
Yep.
But on that side of the country, there's a lot of like, especially California, a lot of like metal bands came out of California. I think Metallica, I think actually came out of there, right?
Yeah, they're an LA band, but they really blew up during the thrash scene that came out of the Bay Area around San Francisco and Oakland back in the early '80s. So, yeah, my kind of metal came from this coast. You know,
Okay.
I feel. Well, death metal I think was really grew up down in Florida, so they came from different areas. But yeah, West Coast, you know, the LA bands and the San Francisco bands. That's kind of who I grew up liking. You know, Metallica. You know, Exodus, Slayer, of
Oh yeah,
course.
Slayer. Well, to reach into all the music stuff we're talking about.
Slayer.
Oh, there you go. Look at that. Um,
I like that.
we talked a little bit before this interview about this little Papa from Funko.
Yeah.
This is one of your designs. Amazing band. When did you fall in love with the band Ghost?
Actually, I arrived. My fandom for the band Ghost arrived like way later than a lot of people. I didn't catch on until just a couple of years ago. They were like, "Oh man, you gotta check this band out. This guy, he looks like a death pope, and he's got these nameless ghouls." And I was like, "Okay." And then I tried it, and I was like, "Well, they don't sound like they look." And so I got like all turned off, and I was like, "Pah," you know, and I just kind of let it go. And then I can't remember what it was. There was something. I ended up on YouTube, and I ended up watching a couple of their videos, and I was like, "Wait a second, these songs are rad." Because, like I mentioned before, I'm not only a metalhead. Like, I like a lot of rock too, and I like things like, you know, Led Zeppelin and Pink Floyd and you know, David Bowie and things like that. And you hear a lot of like Zeppelin and Pink Floyd and early Genesis, like Peter Gabriel Genesis. You hear that in Ghost's music.
Yeah.
And as soon as I could kind of identify the family tree, and I went, "Oh, that's where it goes." I got it. Like, I totally got it all. And I went, okay. And then, as you know, with Ghost, people who get into Ghost get way into Ghost.
Yes.
Quickly.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, like, yeah. You don't meet a lot of like casual Ghost fans, you know, like,
No.
yeah, you either buy the whole thing or you know, or you're like, whatever.
Yeah.
But so, yeah, I felt like I took a hook, line, and sinker. So by the time the pop came about to be designed, like, it was pretty well known in the office that I would like physically fight anyone who tried to to design this. I was like, "No, you know that shit's mine, right?" And they were like, yeah, okay, Reis. Yeah.
It was awesome to finally see it come to fruition. I will never forget going into Hot Topic and buying like 3 of them all at one time. I needed one for home, I needed one for the office, and I needed one for Heather because she and I are such big fans of the band. You know, it's interesting because with Ghost, for me, it was going to a concert a buddy of mine invited me to. We went down to Baltimore at Rams Head Live. I walked inside. The band's on stage. They're carrying on. And there was a little kid on top of his father's shoulders yelling, "Hail Satan," to Year Zero. And I was like, what the fuck is this? This is the craziest shit I think I've ever seen. But it was so badass. And that's where my love started. With them. And Heather's love started when one of them wanted to see your belly, wasn't it? With your belly shirt?
No, Chris.
Whoa, hey, what?
Yeah. It got hardcore, for real.
No, it wasn't that hardcore. Chris introduced me to them in the car one day, and he was like, "This is a really cool band, and you're going to listen to them, and you might not like it too much at first, but when we get home, I'm going to show you a video of them." And we were listening to it, and I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. I like it. And then we watched a video, and I was like, sold. That's
Yeah.
just the look mixed with the music. Yeah. They're completely different, but it works. And
yeah, it works for some reason. I can't explain it either because, like I said, I was turned off at first, you know. I think where you benefited is that you heard the music first and then saw them.
Right.
Okay.
Whereas I saw them, came up with like a preconceived notion of how I thought they should sound.
Gosh.
Then I heard them and I was like, well, this isn't Norwegian black metal, or this isn't like death metal.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, I was like, this does. So I was like, ah. So I think you did it the right way. I think hearing them first and then seeing them is that's the recipe for falling in love with that band.
Well,
yeah, I'm happy.
We went to see them live, and we saw an acoustic show, and we met them at the end, and the guys in the band were obsessed with Heather because she had a half-cut shirt on. That's what I was talking about. And they were all over
she
Heather.
Loves this. She's like,
Yeah.
can we please keep talking about that?
Yeah, well,
God,
so,
bring it up some more, please.
Right. I have photos. Hold on. Let me go get them.
it was so weird because I was like just getting into them, so I didn't realize like the value of it back then. But now I'm like, damn, that's pretty cool that they probably wanted to take me
they're
back
funny.
to their tour bus.
They're a funny group. They were probably joking around with you. They're funny
Yeah.
people. Tobias is hilarious. Like, that guy's
Yeah.
funny.
Oh, big time.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's got a good
They are
stage.
really
The
funny.
stage persona is amazing. Have you seen them live before?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. They're so good.
How
live.
many times?
Only once now.
Only once.
Oh,
Yeah,
Heather.
man.
Judgmental Heather.
No, I'm not being judgmental. I'm shocked because you just mentioned how like you're not people who are into ghosts aren't just casual ghost listeners.
Right. Well, no, like, don't get me wrong. Like, I listen to them like crazy, and I buy the T-shirts and I get into it and everything. But yeah, by the time I got into them, they were already into their European tour, and then they took a break. Then the new album came out, and then so by the next time they came around, it had been a while. So yeah, I jumped on it first chance I could get. But yeah, they did come around here, and luckily I had already done the pop, so they knew who we were, and I was able to get backstage, and
that's
we talked about
awesome,
it. So
dude.
so I got to talk about it with Tobias, and he was pretty happy, and so that just made my night. Like, that was really great.
That is so sick.
But yeah, it was just like they hadn't come around to our area for a long time, and I was dying to see them. And at one point, I think I was contemplating flying to Chicago because I got family there. That's where I'm originally from, and I was like, I could fly there and crash on so-and-so's couch and go see. And I was like, you know what? No, I'll wait till they come around. Also, I don't have a lot of free time, so I just, I'm kind of a busy guy.
I bet you are. So with that, because right now a lot of people are not busy due to this pandemic, how are you making out during the pandemic?
I'm still busy. I'm just busy at home instead of, driving up to downtown Everett during the day. I'm doing okay. Like, I'm extraordinarily fortunate that my day job's going and my side job is going, and and I've got my thumbs in a couple other pies, and I'm a guy that's always working on weird little personal projects, and so I've got that to kind of keep me busy. I don't get bored easily, man. I've always got something I could be doing.
That's awesome.
So I'm fine. And I'm kind of like, not antisocial, but a little introverted, which nobody agrees with me on, but I am, like, for real. So I'm kind of a stay-at-home kind of dude anyway. So this is fine with me. But yeah, I'm starting to get a little, like, I'm kind of missing my Funko people, and I'm really missing the cons. Like, as introverted and kind of homebody as I am, the cons really kind of recharge me, as far as like my creative juices, and kind of remind me like why I'm doing this and who I'm doing this for. And I'm really missing that right now, to be honest.
Yeah, you do a really good job at connecting with your fans and putting on these things during the Comic Cons and things where you meet up with, have these meetups and things and parties. You do a really good job at that, and hopefully one of these days Heather and I will have the time and ability to attend, because they look so fun. Did you have?
Dude, it's a blast, man. I love meeting everybody. Like, it's killer. I usually end the day like exhausted, but it's definitely worth it. I think like last New York Comic Con was rough for me. Just because like we were underprepared for how many people were going to stand in line, and so like that Saturday, I think it was that Saturday, I just signed for 5 hours and doodled for 5 hours, and then went to this party, the Tiny Ghost Nation party, and that night people were like, "Hey man, after this we're going to this and that," and I was like, oh God, I just want my hotel room. Like, so I finally ended up in my hotel room with like a bucket of ice and just like soaked my wrist in it just to get the swelling down so I could draw the next day. But that having been said, it's all worth it. Like it's absolutely 100% worth it. And I'm missing that right now.
Absolutely. Yeah, because I saw you, I think, was it Emerald City? There was some con recently that you met up with a lot of people and you were doing a lot of doodles on Facebook Live, if I remember correctly.
Well, so what happened was like, so this COVID business shut everything down like a few days before Emerald City Comic Con was supposed to happen. And that's my hometown con. So we tried to make kind of a big deal out of it. And we had all this stuff planned. The guys from Bottleneck were coming out. We were going to have this Tiny Ghost party that Christina and Damien were putting together. I had these signings scheduled with Nelson at the Fugitive booth. Like, we were going to rock it. And I was excited. Like, I was extra excited. And unfortunately, like, the COVID-19 madness hit right at the same time. And then, so what happened was there was like a certain number of people that they couldn't get their airfare money back. They couldn't get their hotel money back. Oh, so they and we were still like, how bad is this pandemic? We weren't sure yet. So a bunch of people were still coming, including Christina and Damien. And I was like, guys, find a place. I'll be there. I don't care if 4 people come. I'll just, it's worth it. Like, 'cause, people get on airplanes and they, they take time off work and they, leave their families to go do these things. So I was just like, I don't care how many people it is, we'll do it. Well, we came in, but like 50 people. Like, we took over this like lobby.
I know. I saw the videos.
Restaurant area of the Marriott in Everett, and it was awesome, man. And I got to meet some people I'd never met before, and we made the most of it. And then so yeah, I did some doodles, and that was I think it was Christina who was, I didn't know at first, she was filming me live on Facebook. But she did anyway. But man, it was a blast because we made the best of a kind of a bad situation, I felt. And then like a few days later after that, it was like shut down the state. We were so
it's like the whole country shut down just a couple days after that. You might not have been able to do it, so thank God you did.
Yeah, I'm glad we did. And actually, like, I'm glad nobody got sick either, because I don't think we fully understood how bad it was spreading at that moment.
No, and a lot of people didn't really know, right? So, I'm one of them. I'm one of them, and I was sort of hesitant about staying home and all that kind of stuff myself, but we actually saw a video of one of our friends' aunts. They were sick and they were having a hard time breathing in this video, and that's what drove it home for me. Once I saw that, I was like, okay, I totally understand it now, And unfortunately, I'm an animal like that, and I have to see something in order for it to mean something to me, and that's kind of what did it for me.
Humans are like that. We're all like that a little bit. I started, we had some friends that got sick, that did contract it. They beat it. Wow. And so we're pretty fortunate there, but, and then, and I've got a couple of friends. I mean, I got one friend back east has lost 7 people.
Oh my God, dude.
Lost 7 people. It fucking breaks my heart. Like,
holy shit.
Yeah. So this is no joke. So like, I know it's like, first world problems to be like, I can't go to my convention, but like, so I'm kind of saying that, but I'm also trying, like, I do understand the seriousness of this. And I understand a lot of people got it way worse than like, oh, I don't get to root through comic book boxes for a day or two. Like, big whoop. People have real fucking problems out there. So yeah, my heart goes out to them.
Same here. I'm with you on that. It's a sad thing. Talking about ghost and everything, are we going to see a ghost, tiny ghost at some point? Are we going to see something like that?
Nope.
Nothing like that.
So no, and so here's the deal. And I try to get this word out because people kind of request stuff all the time that falls into a very specific category. So my side project needs to like stay a side project, and it needs to exist in a certain professional realm. And part of the rules of that is that I will not do anything licensed.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's not by choice, but right now I work in licensed product. My side project should not and cannot collide with that.
Sure.
More legally, morally, and also for my own sanity, because like as much as I want to do licensed stuff, I do licensed stuff, like like 40 plus hours a week. In I think if I turned my side project into just another version of what I do at my day job, it wouldn't be fun anymore.
Sure.
So Tiny Ghost needs to remain stuff that's in my head.
And I think,
and that's that, so a lot of people go, oh man, do this, do that, like Richie Pyle does these killer Masters of the Universe ones.
Yes.
I love them so much, and I would love to make those. Can't. Not right now. Not anytime soon for the foreseeable future. And I mean, I would love to, but yeah. So a lot of people always ask me, well, why don't you do licensed stuff? And that's why. Legally, I cannot right now.
Sure.
And then the other thing is, wait, what was my other point? I had another point. I got sidetracked. Okay, bro.
You remind me of me.
I don't know. It's not important, I guess.
What?
Oh, I was gonna say, like, I don't know if you guys remember, in the very beginning, I did a few pins that were like homage, like a Batman Tiny Ghost pin and like this Justice League set,
yes.
And like these horror ones, and those never sat well with me because I was like, like that's not what I really want to be doing, and I also wanted to kind of manage other people's expectations. So after those pins came out, they were fun, don't get me wrong, but after those pins came out, I was like, I don't want to do any more of that like licensed stuff anymore either. So I just don't even want to touch it for now.
I don't blame you. I think that you showing your creativity through these things is more important than pulling in some license that we already know. I mean, if you were basing everything on license, we wouldn't get stuff that's like my favorite. I mean, this this Tiny Ghost right here is why I started collecting Tiny Ghosts, right? So this was it, right? And
it's an odd one, man. That's not everybody's favorite.
I love it. It's my favorite. In fact,
Good,
I need the
There's
other
something for everybody.
I need
Some
the other.
people love Rubber Ducky.
yeah, the Rubber Ducky one's good. I lost out on that one, but I want the red and black version, the other variation of this one.
Reverse Death
Yes,
Cult?
the reverse one. Yes, that one's awesome.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Some people.
I forget where we released that one. This guy?
Oh, yep, there he is. There he is. Have a look.
I have a complete collection.
How would you do that?
I know a guy.
So is it that anytime a new one comes out, you end up taking one for your own collection, right?
Well, usually I have the factory send me final proof samples, so everything I have is like a final proof sample.
Oh, okay.
That's
cool.
how I get it. Yeah. Occasionally, there's been some things that get shipped directly to Asia that had to get made quickly, and I didn't get a final proof sample. But like Ann at Simply Toys or somebody or Nico will send me one to make sure I have one for the archive. That's
awesome. I also noticed some customs back there behind you. I see.
Oh yeah, I love customs.
I saw.
These are both by Karen, my Chewbacca and my Cookie Monster.
Those are cool.
Can you see? Oh my God, I love. And I got a bunch of customs over this way.
Are they tiny
they're kind of
ghosts?
light. What'd you say?
Are they tiny ghosts, the Chewbacca and Cookie Monster?
Hold up. So.
Oh my God, that thing's awesome.
Like.
Oh my God,
he's in there.
Is.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
Yeah, and Karen sent this to me. Actually, gave this to me. Her and Christina flew all the way to Singapore, and gave this to me there. Like, look at his little shiny eyes in there.
Oh my God, that thing's amazing.
Yeah. Oh, she's killer. Like, that's kind of her thing. Her specialty is that she puts fur on these things. And then this, she did this Cookie Monster.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Look at his little eyes in there. So she did this Cookie Monster for the custom contest at Ghost Nation in New York Comic-Con. And she gave it to me, and she was like, "This is for your son." And I was like, "I'm not giving him that. That's mine." Jesus. Are you kidding me?
So that's like one of the main reasons why having such a simplistic idea or character is so good, because look what people can do with it.
Yeah, he's a blank canvas. And surprisingly, I didn't really realize that in the beginning. what a blank like I knew he'd be a blank canvas for me to do variants of.
Sure.
I don't know why I just didn't foresee people running with the customs. I'm dumb, I guess. I wasn't really thinking about it, but now that I see it, I'm in love with it. Like, I love seeing people's customs. I love seeing it. Makes me so happy.
So one question, I actually showed this question to a couple of friends, and like that's an odd question, but it's very interesting. It's a two-part question.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I don't know what this is. I'm very nervous for you.
Have you ever envisioned this two-part question, by the way? Have you ever envisioned Tiny Ghost as a cartoon, and who would play its voice if it were a cartoon?
That's a good question, man. Well, we have. So Jason Rowe, now my business partner, who's joined the Bimtoy family, did a series of little animations back in the day, and he just did them out of his own goodwill. Like we weren't. Wow. I feel horrible, but we weren't like paying him to do it or telling him to do it or anything. But he was coming up with these beautiful little animations, and there were brief talks in the beginning about, God, what could we do? Little like minute shorts. And what would that look like? What would he sound like? All that kind of stuff. So there were brief conversations. Then other things took our attention. But the animation has always been in the back of my brain. I would love to see Tiny Ghost animated, whether that's in little animated shorts or some sort of like mobile game. We're thinking, like I don't know. These are like way blue sky, big picture conversations. Like nothing's happening at the moment. What would his voice sound like? I gotta be honest. I don't know if he talks. I don't know. Like that's a hard one, man. Like he changes over the years. Like originally he didn't have a mouth, but when I doodle him, I put these like weird little bean mouths with 4 teeth, and so his look is growing. And kind of morphing into something. So I can't imagine that one day he's going to have a voice, and I can't imagine that we're going to have to kind of cross that bridge when we get to it. But I don't have an answer for that right now. Like I don't know. He's a little guy. He's a sweetheart. I think he sounds like he's got that little kid raspy voice like Charlie Brown, but then sometimes I don't know. Sometimes I think maybe he doesn't think at all. What if the cartoon was all like it's all action and mime oriented? Does anyone talk in this world?
That'd be cool.
I don't know.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
I don't know.
I kind of pictured him with Danny DeVito's voice. I don't know why, but that was the first thing that came to mind for me. I don't know why.
sounds like Doc from Back to the Future.
That'd be awesome.
I don't know. Like, yeah, he definitely. I don't think he has an adult voice. I don't know if he has a kid voice. He's not I don't know, man. That's a toughie.
He's like
I haven't thought that hard about that one.
So recently, you've been releasing the 3-inch Tiny Ghosts, and
yep.
we've been lucky enough to obtain, because we're part of the Paradorable Society, and we were able to
Smart move.
We were able to get all of the 3-packs, and we love them.
Good.
In fact, I love them more than I love the big ones, and I hope that doesn't hurt anybody's feelings, but I just love this size. I just think the size is just
doesn't hurt my feelings.
I think it's downright perfect. Although I will continue to collect the big ones. Why the 3-inch Tiny Ghost? Where did this idea come from?
Well, mostly like the germ of the idea kind of started when people were like running out of space to display them. And so we were like, is there like I really love the minis. Like I think the minis are adorable. And I love the 5-inch. Don't get me wrong. Like it's a lot of fun. It's like a huge canvas to put something on. But we figured, well, there's got to be something in between there. And then when we did Puppy and Kitty, we were like, oh my God, look how cute they are. What a great size that is. And you'll notice in like the kind of vinyl world, like a lot of the stuff that lands around, between 3 and 4 inches tends to get a lot of love. People just kind of like it. It's easy to display. It feels good in your hand. It's like the size of a baseball. It's the size of an apple. Like you just, And so eventually we were like, well, hey, let's try it and see if people like it. The only thing I was kind of worried about is that I didn't know if people were going to be like kind of 5-inch purists and be like, whoa, sacrilege, you shrunk him, or were people gonna just be like, yeah, this is great, I'm only gonna do these. It looks like people are kind of doing a mix of both, and for now we're doing a mix of both. But I do honestly think that the 3-inch is a more palatable bite size collectible as opposed to the 5-inch. That 5-inch, man, I love them, don't get me wrong, like I got a bunch of them behind me, but man, they're space eaters. I admit it,
They really are. And that's one of the main focuses for why I love, I guess, the 3-inch a little bit better. However, Heather made a very good point. She says, well, when you buy the 3 inches right now, you're buying them in a 3-pack. So it's taking up even more room than the 5-inch. And I'm like,
sort of.
Yeah.
Said,
well, you're sort of making a good
There's
point.
2 things there is that, well, one, I'm an out-of-box collector. I throw packaging away.
Wow.
So that's where my brain's coming from. So now I see all these people, they display their ghost on top of the box.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
So now the box is taking up a bunch of space too. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to yuck anyone's yum. If that's how you want to display your stuff that way. That's fine. But I'm kind of like, in my brain, when I first started this, I was like, the box is there to protect the product. That's it. Like, it's supposed to get the dings and the scratches and the, whatever. But it's supposed to deliver information, protect the product. That's it. That's its job. So I imagined everybody was going to, like,
oh yeah,
just line them up. Just line them up on a shelf, right? No, everybody keeps the boxes, and everybody, So when my philosophy behind the 3-inch was, oh my God, when you line them up next to each other, not with the boxes, they're going to look beautiful. They're not going to take up as much space. Well, people are still doing the box thing. And that box is weird. It's like a carton of cigarettes. It's so strange.
It really is. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's really bizarre, but don't smoke, kids. But anyway, so I was kind of picturing that. Now, the reason they come in 3-packs is because when it came down to mold cost and all the stuff that we have to amortize into this to make it somewhat profitable, it's harder. You make a far less profit on the singles, to the point where we were like, oof, like this is taking a hit, and that's hard to grow a business on a product that takes a financial hit from the production cost point, angle,
sure.
Which a lot of people don't even, they don't think about, and that's fine. They don't have to. So the 3-packs are our way of making it profitable enough for us to continue to grow the business. And also, like, I kind of like the 3-packs because I like themes, and I can theme. I'm sorry, I keep looking over this way because there's a 3-pack over there that I cannot show you. But
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. But so like, I like themes, so I can kind of theme them. Sometimes if we go back and redo a design we've already done, I can throw a third something new in there, which is what we did on the sharks. Like, the whale shark was new.
Yeah.
So that's kind of, this is all what's happening during what I'm considering a transition period, as we kind of dial in our voice in the collectible world.
Sure. I think they're great. I'm glad that we're getting the 3 inches now. Heather, just because we're talking about the whale shark, Heather believes that the whale shark has a mustache. That was her first thought on the whale shark.
It's his mouth.
Yeah, she said she thought it was a mustache.
No, I said it.
Have you ever seen the mouth on a whale shark?
No,
It's like this big, wide, flat thing, man. They're beautiful creatures.
I don't study sharks very often. I've been to the aquarium maybe 5 times, and 4 of those 5 was when I was less than 10. So
Right.
don't
They probably
remember
didn't have a
him.
whale shark in a tank.
That's
so-
right.
Maybe, I don't
Right.
know, but
It's all mustaches to Heather.
I think he
Yeah.
looks great with a mustache, and he should have a
There's-
top hat.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Maybe he's a very dapper whale shark.
There you go.
He
That's right.
is very
Yeah.
hip.
I'm just gonna throw my little piece of hopefulness in here. I really hope to
Okay.
get a larger version of the metal tiny ghost here, the black metal tiny ghost. This is what I want in the future. Hopefully, we can get him. I'm just throwing
All
that
right.
in there. I'm just throwing that in
All
there.
right.
So-
Duly noted.
So we have a bunch of audience questions. These were questions that were collected prior to this live. We decided that
And everybody's watching this, right? Like, there's people out there watching this?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All three of them.
We have a ton of people.
One's my dad.
How many? One's your
Yeah.
How many people
Hi,
are
Dad.
there, Heather?
60?
We have 60 people right now.
Yeah, we've had a solid 60 plus
Oh, that's
or minus
great.
a couple. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
And more people will see this, after this is processed. It'll be a
Okay.
rewatchable video as well.
All right.
So we have a ton of questions here. We asked that not to ask questions during the live because it's too hard for us to capture questions and stuff. So we have we have a couple of friends here. We have a group called Gastlecast We Hunt Together. It's a great group. So if you guys want to join a really cool collectible group, go and check it out on Facebook. Jacques Morgan is one of the members there. He asks, what has been your favorite and least favorite piece to design and produce Tiny Ghost?
Well, for stuff that's come out already, I would. Let me look at these guys for a second here.
You could also talk about stuff that hasn't come out.
I'll think about like when the Muertos ones came in.
Ooh.
I've always loved the culture behind Day of the Dead and the imagery behind Day of the Dead, Dia de los Muertos, and so I think those, when I first saw those, I went, oh my God, these are coming out so beautiful. Like they lived up to kind of like how I hoped they would look. So, I mean, that's just one of them. But guys, 2020 is going to be just disgusting with my new super favorites. My least favorite is, and this is nothing against the design or anything like that, but because it was heartbreaking, there were certain designs that got produced shoddily and shittily from a former factory of ours. It kind of just dicked us over, to be honest. Like, they made all these promises and sent really nice samples that I approved, and then they really poorly, they rushed the job and they did it in ways that we didn't ask. So like ones like Sumo really suffered for that, which is just heartbreaking because I just thought it was such a charming one. And so those are probably my least favorite because because we had so many, we just got blindsided by the factory.
That sucks.
It was a bait and switch. It happens. It's business. It happens. We weren't expecting it, and it kind of came out of nowhere. And it just kind of sucked that it happened to like our friends over in Asia, like Nico and Ann, so that kind of broke my heart. So yeah, those are probably my least favorite. Like, I just, every now and then I have a good Sumo here. Like, this is the beautiful, pristine sample that they sent me. And this is not a water decal. Like, this is spray masked paint.
Wow.
Like I asked it to be. Well, they ended up doing a water decal, sticking them in the blisters wet. And they stuck to it and ripped apart and peeled off, and so it's heartbreaking. So every now and then I look at this one and I go, oh man. So that's probably my least favorite story behind getting things produced.
What a mess.
Hopefully that answers that question.
Yeah, no, that does. I have a good question for you, and I don't know if answering.
God,
I don't
Death
know if.
Mask. Look how.
Oh my God. That's
like, to this day I'm just like, about this one.
Yeah.
I sketched this one up in an airport coming home from San Francisco one time and shot it over to Joe and Arseny, and I was like, hey, do you think we could do this in gold and silver? It was just a pencil sketch of this kind of geometric skull design with the ribcage and stuff, and they were like, we can try, but we were really worried, and the factory just nailed it.
What is
Sorry.
that one called? I don't think I had ever seen him before.
You ever seen Death Mask?
Death Mask.
That's the one I mentioned the other night on the video.
Oh, it was.
That's Death Mask.
Okay. He's really cool.
Yeah, the Death Mask and Saints and Sinners I drew on the same day on my iPad, sitting in an airport waiting for my flight to leave.
That's awesome.
Seeing that work and all, and I see that you have a lot of tattoos. Have you ever designed any of your tattoos that you have?
Yeah, I've done a few. I even did one on myself,
wow,
on my leg. Wow. That sucked. That hurt. Yeah, there was a period there where I actually, in the early days, where I thought I was going to be a tattoo artist, and then I realized I don't like touching people. So
Good point.
That went away.
Yeah.
Right.
Especially some of the weird places people get tattooed.
Oh yeah, man. I remember. Oh, this is horrible, but so I'd gotten some equipment and I practiced on myself and I talked to a few friends into let me practice on them. I mean, that's how you got to do it, unless you're apprenticing at a shop, but I didn't have a shop to apprentice at. So I was doing really kind of sketchy situation tattoos in my dining room, in my apartment in Chicago. And I was talking suckers into getting free tattoos to practice on. And, one time I was just this girl wanted these little chicken footprints on her foot. And I realized I was like, oh, my face has been near this girl's foot for half an hour. And I was just I don't want to do this, man.
Not up your
alley.
alley.
I put the equipment away and I never did another one.
Right into the trash.
Yeah. I was I sold it. I Craigslisted that shit.
So I don't know if this question is going to affect you at all with your day job, but here's a question from Dean Blockley.
And if you can't answer, just
say no.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who would win in a fight, Freddy or Tiny Ghost?
Freddy Funko.
I went Freddy Krueger.
Oh no!
In my head, I was like, well,
I saw.
He can enter your dreams.
I saw your brain
Freddy
working.
Funko. Yeah, I'm not answering that. You crazy shit.
Let's
Signs
see.
my paychecks, man. You kidding me?
Freddy himself.
Reese basically just said that Freddy Funko wins, just in case anyone was wondering.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll say that for now. I don't care. Neither one of those are fighters, man. Both of those characters are lovers.
They're
Man.
not.
They're not fighters.
Yeah, one's a little prince guy because he's always got the crown, and the other one
Yeah.
is just the cutest ghost you've ever seen. That is not.
They wouldn't
terrifying
fight.
at
They'd be
all.
friends.
Yeah,
They would be best friends, yeah.
besties.
Right now, they're being friends. In a way.
Right. Eric Gomez asked, would you ever consider doing a digital comic based on Tiny Ghost featuring Luna, Nerdy, cat, and dog, kind of like an adventure or series in the life of Tiny Ghost?
100%. I have absolutely thought about doing little comic stories, maybe like a little graphic novel. I don't know. I think there's stories to tell there because I've actually developed this whole town in my head of Creepy Hollow. It's a whole town, and there's other characters who we're introducing this year that live there. They're not the only ones. There's lots of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of ghosts that live in this town. It's like Smurfs.
Awesome.
It's like a Smurf village.
Yeah.
I have thought what are some ways we can tell stories, and I have thought about maybe a digital online comic kind of thing. I'd also really I really want to do, and I have started and stopped writing this a couple of times, but kind of like a little golden book, children's book kind of story about Tiny Ghost that involves Puppy and Kitty.
Oh, that'd be super cool.
And Luna's in it too. But eventually I do. We have absolutely considered that, and it's just finding the time, finding the energy, finding maybe if someone wants to send me. People want to send us the art samples. Maybe we could hire it out. I'm not above that. That's fine with me too.
A children's book has to bring in the big buckaroos, man. I mean, that has to be a really big deal if you had a children's book on the market.
Well, if we did, and again, you self-publish it and you release it our way. It's not like it'd be in a Barnes and Noble or anything, but
Sure.
Not these days anyway. But I really love children's books, and I collect them, especially vintage ones, because I like the style of illustration. Ben Butcher at Funko, he's a huge influence on me, and he knows his children's books, so he's guided me, and now I'm a children's book junkie when it comes to illustration and stories, and so that's why that's kind of close to my heart. But I think maybe people would like a comic story better. I don't know yet. I'm not sure.
I don't know.
But we to answer the question, we have 100% thought about it, or at least I have.
The children's book would be right up the Tiny Ghost alley because it just looks like it popped out of a book like that. It really does.
Yeah.
I like a comic though.
You like so? Look,
I know, it's hard.
Yeah, we're just split right down the middle here, Heather.
Yeah.
Hello from New York. Ian Marie says, my husband and I love Tiny Ghosts. Any hints on when we could expect to see Series 3 minis? Thanks for passing these along if you do. Oh, saying to us. So Series 3 minis. Word on that.
Real soon. Yeah.
Oh.
real,
Okay.
real soon.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds good. I like that.
I like that.
Here's one now. Ready? Freeze frame. There.
Whoa.
That was
All
one.
right.
I saw
Oh.
what that was.
Ooh.
I like it.
I dig that.
Wait. This one's. All right, ready? Freeze frame.
Oh my God.
So, dude, I
That
got
was.
Series 3 sitting here right in front of me. We're shipping them, man. We're trying to get them over the water.
Oh, those are sick.
Nice.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and there will be a Series 4 before this year's over with.
No shit. My God. So 2 new series are coming.
Yeah, we ain't playing.
Listen, the pandemic.
I love the minis.
The pandemic can fuck off because we're getting two brand new series of minis.
It's gonna
This is
heal
awesome.
everyone.
Yeah.
It
That's
should.
right.
If it doesn't, I don't know. What
In these dark times, it's nice to have something that makes us all happy, and you're bringing a lot of
Oh,
happiness to all
that's
of us.
all I'm trying to do is just use my powers for good, man.
K&L Collectibles asked from YouTube, how did Knee Deep in Blood come together?
No. Do you know what that is?
It's your band.
Okay, yeah. All right. I didn't know if you guys knew. Like, I tease it. I'll just really quickly. Knee Deep in Blood is it's a bucket list thing I've always wanted to do. I haven't been in a band in 25 years or something like that, but yeah, I've had these metal songs in my head for years, and I like making up new riffs. So just I'm trying to do all this bucket list stuff before I die, and making an album is one of them. So I'm writing and recording a 4-song EP.
Hell yeah, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm just kind of doing it because now the technology it's there. Like I can just I'm recording it on my iPhone. Like I just plug my guitar into it and open up GarageBand and so
That's awesome.
yeah, that's how it came about. I was just like, oh, look how easy this is now.
That's cool. I didn't mean to come...
bought some equipment, and now I'm just kind of writing and recording.
I didn't mean to come across like
it's not a real band, by the way. I'm the only member.
I didn't mean
it's a real band.
I didn't mean to come across like a dick, and I'm like, oh, it's your band. I just happened to know that because he put it here, so I did not know that.
Yeah.
So if you,
I don't know how many people know about it because I'll post like I posted the T-shirt design and stuff like that the other day, and you get like 11 likes, and I go, okay. Nobody cares about this.
So what kind of music do we expect from Knee Deep in Blood?
Knee Deep in Blood is kind of a mix of all my influences. So it has thrash moments. It's a bit doomy, kind of like Black Sabbath.
Oh, yeah.
There's lots of long drawn out, but there's also a little, so for the thrash people, it's not super fast. There's one real fast song. And the lyrics are super, or the vocal styles are very death metal. It's guttural, that kind of vocals.
Oh, hell yeah. So where can we
So
find
it's a mix. It's a mix of
find
my
it?
influences.
Can we find
What's
it right
that?
now? Can we find it right
No,
now?
it's not out yet. I'll be releasing it on Bandcamp for $6.66.
I like that.
That's awesome. I will be one of the people purchasing that. I promise that. That's dope. Ryan McCarthy from YouTube says, are there any plans for more glow tiny ghost pins? Also a kaleidoscope tiny ghost design? ?
Glow, yeah, sure. We'll probably come out with some more glow stuff. It's just when we think of it, I've actually got some new pin ideas that are very different than what we've done in the past. But yeah, sure. I'm sure. I don't know what a kaleidoscope pin is, so
yeah,
I don't know what they mean by that.
Kaleidoscope tiny ghost design. I don't know what he's talking about. Maybe
yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I know what a kaleidoscope is, but I don't know what they mean by what that would look like. Is it maybe that's a style of enamel that people use in pins? I don't know. I could look into it though.
Duffy from YouTube says, what would be your dream Bimtoy collab?
It's about to happen.
Ooh.
I don't know what I can say, what I can't say.
We can leave it.
There's something in the works that was going to be a real big deal at ToyCon, or at least a big deal to me at ToyCon in the Philippines, in Manila. And so and that got canceled, so I'm bummed.
Yeah.
But we're figuring things out. but yeah, kind of. That's a pretty big dream collab. I got a couple other guys I would really like to work with, and you're going to see. And I think I mentioned this before on the Geek Together pod with Christina and Damien. Like you're going to see collaborations this year. So there's people I've been wanting to work with, and you're gonna this year, before this year is over with, you're gonna see tiny ghosts that are not designed by me.
Awesome.
For the first time ever.
Interesting. Yeah. So we're going to see some new, awesome, cool shit coming out of Tiny Ghost this year before the year's over. So there was somebody who had asked a question that was very similar to what you just answered, so I'm not going to ask that. Bruce Tan from YouTube asked, will there be any animal flocked for 3-inch TG, such as brown bear or any other animal? I love your work of Tiny Ghost and love looking forward to many more upcoming designs.
Thanks, Bruce. Nothing in the works yet, because at least not for this year. In the 3 inches, our 3 inches, all of our designs for the year and part of 2021 are locked in. But yeah, so nothing flocked yet. We ran into some flocking trouble at the factory level, and so we just kind of got like. It's like, all right, you know what? We'll deal with this later. We'll figure it out later. So we're working on it, but just nothing at the moment.
So Jason Swoboba Fett has a question.
Swoboba
Fett. What was your time with Mike Becker at Mixo like?
Thanks, Jason. Because he knows what my time was like, and he just wants me to talk about it live.
Oh
no. How do I navigate this? Okay, here. I can say this. That my time working with Becker and working on Mixo. A lot of people don't even know what Mixo is. They're gonna go to Google and it's these weird tin things we were doing in paper craft sets. That was a really nice stepping stone for me into the career collectibles. Like I'd always wanted to be in it. Mike Becker brought me along on an idea that he had, and I was just like, sounds good, let's do it. And I really sunk my teeth into it and kept my eyes and ears open and learned as much as I humanly could about the business. Mike had been in it a long time. So I learned a lot from him, and there was a pretty solid friendship there, and so yeah, I don't regret the time at all. It was definitely worth it. A lot of people always ask, like, well, what do you do to get into the business? And sometimes I'm like, well, keep your eyes peeled for opportunities and be smart enough to take those opportunities before they pass you by. And that's kind of what I did with Mixo. I was like, well, this is my chance to get in the collectible world. So yeah, I don't regret it one bit.
That's
but
awesome.
There were some adventures. There were some great adventures. Some stories I can't tell.
That's what I was about to say. I'm pretty sure you can't talk about a lot of it. So right now, currently, are you honing in? Because you say you're very busy, but however, are you honing in on any TV shows? Are you keeping up with any TV shows right now? During all this time of us being trapped inside the house.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah. Like at night, I calm down and I gotta let my brain stop for a second. For a couple hours. So yeah, let's see. What have I binged since I've been working from home? We went through Lock and Key.
Ooh.
Did you enjoy
so good.
it? Yes. Okay.
What?
I was asking if you enjoyed it.
It's so right up my alley. It took all the good imagery from like Crimson Peak and like mixed it with like a little bit of Harry Potter and a touch of Encyclopedia Brown. Like it was just rad. So we did Crimson Peak. Umbrella Academy, which was fantastic. I really loved that. We've been watching a lot of rad documentaries. On Amazon Prime, the Murder in the Front Row documentary. If you want to learn about how the thrash metal scene back in the early 80s was born, in the Bay Area, watch Murder in the Front Row. It's an awesome documentary.
Hell yeah. Okay, I'll watch that.
Dude, it's rad. What else? I feel like I'm missing some stuff we've watched. We've tried a couple of shows too where I was like, oh, just like, not really capturing my attention. And then we burned through. We like our comedies in this house too because I can't watch everything that's upsetting. Oh God, we watched that dark ass documentary about the nun that was murdered. The Keepers.
Oh my God, dude! That shit was hardcore, man.
That happened like.
And then we
20
watched
minutes
Making a
away from
Murderer,
us.
like about that guy. He's like, I swear he's getting friend. Oh, I can't handle those. So to counteract those, we top it off with like some Arrested Development or Bless This Mess or something.
Gotta water it down a little bit.
Oh man, because I don't want to have nightmares all night. There was a couple of nights where I had nightmares about nuns being murdered in the woods.
That's so fucked up. We Heather mentioned.
Yeah, I like a good documentary though. Like I can get sucked into that.
We're very obsessed with document. We watch pretty much any new documentary that comes with Netflix. We watch it. Don't Fuck with Cats was one that we watched.
I won't watch it.
It's a rough one. Tiger
rough.
King, which is a big.
My buddy Butcher already told me about it. I can't. He told me I can't watch Don't Fuck with Cats, and I tried Tiger King. We got through 2 episodes, and I was like, nope.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Can't do it.
Crazy.
None of those people are likable. There's no one to root for. There's.
No.
I was like, these are all just toothless, meth head losers who are caging beautiful creatures for whatever their reasons they say they are. I was like, fuck all these people. I'm not watching this show. Like, this is horrible. Oh, I can't watch that shit.
It's a mess. So
I love it.
How about movies? Are you keeping up on movies right now?
No, I'm slacking a little bit on movies. There's not a lot of good stuff out right now. We're in this weird, I feel like either it's stuff we already saw because we go to the movie theaters a lot, or new stuff's coming that's really dope. But right now there's a bunch of like coming out. What did we watch the other night? Oh shit. We finally watched Joker.
Ooh.
And?
We've been so good.
It is
but
so good.
So depressing, so dark.
Yeah.
So sad. And it just like we've been putting it off because we knew how we were going to feel after watching it, and well, we were right. But I'm really glad I did it because it was just so beautifully shot. Joaquin Phoenix is just like a killer of an actor.
Oh
like
my God.
he murders movies. He's so good. Murder in the good way. So we watched Joker. And then I caught up on all my Marvel movies. So.
Hell yeah! I'm obsessed with all that Marvel stuff.
I slacked off there, which is kind of bad for me because I art direct the Marvel product. So I know what's happening. I know who's who because we get walkthroughs and stuff we need to know in order to make the product. But I didn't exactly like the last couple of movies. I didn't go see.
Sure.
It's not like Star Wars where I will not miss a Star Wars movie in the theater. But so I finally got caught up and what's the last one? The Infinity.
Oh, Infinity War, Endgame, and then Spider-Man. Spider-Man.
Holy shit, that was so good. And then I unfortunately watched Miss Marvel, but whatever.
Yeah, that movie isn't all that great.
Won't get those 2 hours back.
Yeah, it's not that great of a film.
Yeah.
So we have we always do this on all of our interview series. We have what we call 3 random questions. So these questions are completely out of nowhere. Heather actually grabs them herself. Heather, do you want to ask these questions? I'll leave that one up to you, and then we'll do a round table. We can all answer them. Does that sound good?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. And we'll start with Reis on the first question.
All right. What song do you most associate with your childhood?
There's a couple of songs that were just like I can't pick one, man. Anything that my parents used to listen to when they were getting ready to like go out. My dad would always put on like Bob Seger or Steely Dan or something like that. So it's hard to hear a Bob Seger song or a Steely Dan song and not get nostalgic. If I hear ABBA, or Meatloaf, I think of my mom.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I remember her getting ready for work in the morning when I was like trying to, I was grumbling about having to go to school. And I remember her in her bathroom playing like an ABBA cassette in the bathroom, So yeah. So there's one song, like there's a song called Light Up Your Heart Light by Neil Diamond that came out when the movie E.T. came out. And it reminds me of that summer. Like I'm just instantly transported back to that summer where I ate nothing but Reese's Pieces and hung out with my friends. And you can almost like smell fresh cut grass of that summer. Like every time I hear that song. Yeah, I got a few. There's a song by Cyndi Lauper called True Colors that makes me think of my first girlfriend in middle school, and it breaks my heart every time I hear it. I miss you, Pam.
Anytime I think about Reese's Pieces, I always think of E.T. and him picking them up with his little fingers. Remember?
The way his little
fingers.
What's that?
They're big and weird.
Yeah.
They are. They're very strange. I love E.T. though. That movie makes me cry every time. It was on the other day, and I was trying to watch it with my son, and I'm crying. He didn't understand why I was crying.
It's a weird experience for everybody.
Oh, it was strange. It was hard to explain. He didn't understand why, like, when the plant starts to kind of come back to life, and I'm like, Dad, you okay? Did you get stung by a bee? Like, I don't understand. So I know I can't pick one song, but there's a few that like instantly transport me back and just tear my heart open a little bit, in the good way, in the bad way. I don't know, in the good way.
Good.
Tether, you want to go next, or you want me to go next?
You go next.
So the band that pops into my head that my mother listened to all the time in the car, and it felt like it was 24/7, was Def Leppard. And it was the album. It was It was the album with the song "Let's Get Rocked" on it, and she listened to that goddamn song all the time and pour some sugar on me.
I don't know that one.
Yeah, and it was let's get rocked, and it was like this.
Oh,
really,
no.
Yeah,
okay,
and
right.
it was such. I don't know if this title of the song was "Let's Get Rocked," but it was everything that's horrible. And I remember that. God. And then behind that was Reba McEntire. Because my mother was obsessed with country music. So just imagine me, little Chris, in a Dodge Caravan with the sliding door and all that shit, with my sisters, my mom, and my mom would play like country music back to back. Alan Jackson, do you remember him? Alan Jackson, Reba, Def Leppard. But my dad would get me in the car, and it was a huge separation because it would be that in my mom's car, and in my dad's car, it was movie theme songs from films, like Jurassic Park was one of them. I remember.
Terminator so like the John Williams orchestrated score.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
They were just fantastic, and I remember listening to them on the way. He would take me. He had a convenience store when I was a kid, and he would drive me to the convenience store.
He had a what store?
He had a convenience store, like like a 7-Eleven kind of joint.
Gotcha.
But he would drive me there every morning to work with him over the summer, and we would always listen. Jurassic Park: The Lost World was one of the big ones for me. I remember.
I don't know if that is John Williams. I'm big into like orchestrated, like soundtracks as well. It's good drawing music. Big John Williams fan. So yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it
doesn't make up for the Reba McEntire. I'm sorry about that.
He was horrible, absolutely horrible.
Well, I guess it's my turn.
Uh-oh.
So, I'm going to go with You Make My Dreams Come True by Hall & Oates.
Okay.
So, I remember a lot of songs from my childhood, but this happened in the...
Wait, you guys are young, though. You're younger than me. You're like 90s kids, right? Or 2000s kids?
I'm 80. I'm 80, so I'm like almost 40.
I remember doing the Charleston. 23 Skidoo.
So when Spice Girls came out, my sister and I drove our father.
Yep, 90s kids.
Same. Yep. Sorry.
Painful.
We drove him up the wall. We would always ask him to put Spice World, or I think one of their albums was it just Spice? I don't remember. But we had him put the cassette into, he had a red Chevy Blazer. And
Nice.
we would listen to it over and over again. And finally one day, I remember him hitting the eject button. And both me and my sister's faces dropped. We were like, what the fuck is happening, Dad? You just pulled out Spice Girls. Are you putting the other Spice Girls in, or what? Girls, today we're going to listen to the Spice Boys. And he puts in this cassette tape, and all of a sudden, Hall & Oates comes on. And he absolutely
Spice Boys.
hated it. But now it's just a thing where, like, I will listen to Hall & Oates if I'm just, like, doing chores or something. Or even
That's
in my
cool,
car.
man.
I love it.
Yeah, that's the same thing I do with like Bob Seger and like Steely Dan, and yeah, that's awesome.
I've always wanted to take my dad to see them, but he's not into, like, big concerts. If he goes to a concert, it's like at the local bar of, like, cover bands. Like, that's what he likes to do. And I'm like, but Dad, I'm willing to pay and drive us to see the real thing. Nope, we're going.
Yeah,
to
he'll go see All in Hotes. With other bands.
He don't want to spend all that
Yeah.
money. Who could blame him? Concert
Guy's
tickets
got
are so
like a fake
expensive.
mustache stuck on his face. Your kiss is on my lips. Yeah, I can see it. Okay, all right. Next question. How many are these? 10?
3.
3.
We've been on here a long time.
I know.
Are people still watching?
We're down to 2, but we can continue. No, we're
Well,
16.
one's your dad.
Yeah.
We're at how many?
He might have dropped out. I don't know.
Yeah. He's listening to Hall & Oates.
What are you freakishly bad at?
Dancing.
I like that.
I am a horrible dancer. I am hands down the worst dancer on the face of the planet. And I don't like dancing. I don't enjoy it. I don't see the point of it. I don't like it just drives me nuts. It's been like the dismay of many of an ex-girlfriend that I am just the shittiest dancer on the planet. I'm terrible. It's embarrassing. So I don't dance. I never dance unless it's in the aisle at a Target to embarrass my son.
Oh, that's a good
reason
to
to
dance.
Yeah.
I'm a bad dancer
I'll do it.
too.
Yeah. But that's the thing I'm absolutely worst at, dancing. And math. Can't do math at all.
Okay. That's something I'm freakishly good at.
No. Can't do it. I'm completely right-brained. I can't. I'll make up a really rad vinyl of the number 4, but I can't. I can't
You don't
divide
know how
it
to
by anything or
get the number
multiply
4.
it by anything. Yeah.
It's interesting because he actually hit on my 2, which is math. I'm absolutely horrible at. How I got through high school, I still can't figure that out. In dancing, I look like I have some sort of problem.
You look like you have to use the bathroom and can't wait for the song to end.
Exactly. It is very similar to that. You're right.
Yeah.
It looks
Look
like
who came. Wait, look who came to visit. Come on, up, shoot, up.
Oh.
Who's that?
I know. We're gonna go for a walk. This is Chewy.
Oh my.
We're gonna go for a walk.
goodness.
As soon as this is over, okay, bud? All right, go lay down. Sorry.
No,
He just
don't
came over looking at
apologize.
me like,
Can you just go over
Done?
there and give him your seat? I like you and all, but like, I like him too.
yeah, the dog's a kitty.
Oh.
Okay, sorry.
Heather, what are you freakishly bad at? I'm math is my number 1. Dancing is my 2nd. I'm with him.
Wow. Okay. So you're just copying off him.
I am.
We found out how you completed high school.
That's right. He's a creative one.
She's
remember?
bad about not calling you out on shit. Live.
Oh, what am I freakishly bad at? You know, it's funny. I was gonna say dancing.
Dog licked my ear. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I got like dog slobber on my ear.
Somebody get this guy a towel.
Ugh.
I was gonna say dancing because I am horrible at dancing. However, I'm not to the level of you, Reese, where you refuse to do it. Like, I'll do it and just be bad at it.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't.
Oh god, this is really bad. I can't think of anything past. You know, I am really bad at drawing.
Oh.
I'm the exact opposite of you. I'm bad at drawing. I can do other things creatively, but I cannot for the like if you put something in front of me right now, I couldn't draw it. I'm good at
See, that always blows my mind. Like, to me, drawing is so natural. Like, I'm not the best artist in the world or anything. Like, I do the best I can with what I got to work with. You know, that's just part of, you know, trying to be successful at something. But, so I'm not like the best in the world, but I know I can kind of draw. But like when I meet people who are just like, I can't draw, I'm like, what? That's not that hard. Just do it. It's in your brain. Just make your hand do it. Like, and people are just like, nope, there's a disconnect there. But then it's the same people that kind of look at me and they're just like, it's a square root, you dumbass. It's not that hard. And I'm like, I don't know what a square root is. I'm like, so yeah, I guess brains are weird.
They are. Happy Pie Day, Reese. Oh, what are we having? Apple or pumpkin? No.
It's not Pie Day. I know what day Pie Day is.
Okay. Oh, we have to do the very last one. Okay. You actually have this right now with all 60 people in the chat. Okay. If you had the world's attention for 30 seconds, what would you say?
That's a tough question, man.
I know it is.
Well, nobody listens.
Yeah.
That's my problem, is that nobody fucking listens.
We're living that right now.
Yeah, I just like, I guess does it have the magic power that like whatever I say they have to do or it takes effect or something?
Sure, I like that.
Because right then and there I would say, hey, stop treating other people like shit. Stop being racist. Stop being sexist. Stop being a bigot. Every human being on this planet deserves the same rights as the human being right next to them, no matter their color, their sex, their sexual orientation, their whatever, you know, anything, their financial level. Like everyone on this planet has the same right to living a happy life and being healthy and being peaceful as you do. So stop being a shithead to other people.
I
So,
love that.
I think that's the core of the problems with the world. Like we lack empathy. I mean, listen, I'm not like a crazy tree hugger. Like I'm a grumpy pants too. And I can get kind of curmudgeonly and antisocial and stuff. But ultimately, I think the greatest problems in the world is people treat people like shit for no reason or for very bad reasons that aren't reasons, skin color, or their sex or their whatever, you know.
Sure. So
yeah, stop treating other people like shit. We're all on this mud ball together, and we get one round. That's it.
Absolutely.
So don't waste it being a hateful piece of shit.
The only reason we have to dislike or hate another people if they are a piece of shit.
Hey.
But that's who I'm talking to too. Like I'm like, dude, like.
Well,
okay,
if they weren't
you know,
pieces of shit.
Yeah, take the pointy white hood off. It's fine. We're all okay together in this, man. Fuck. Anyway, sorry.
If I had the world's attention for
that.
30 seconds, I would say go and check out bimtoy.com, join the Paradorable Society, and buy your very first tiny ghost.
That guy had one shot and he wasted it. I'll be like, no, we don't have anything in stock. Now's bad timing.
Heather, I can't wait to find out what your answer is. It has to be fantastic. I'm sure it's great.
So as I was writing the question, normally I'll write the questions, but I'll sit here for like 5 minutes when it's my turn to go, and I'll be like, I didn't really think of this, even though I'm the one that picked the questions. But as soon as I wrote this one down, I knew what my answer was. So it's hilarious because you stole the words right out of my mouth, except I probably wasn't going to say it so elegantly, and I probably would have said piece of shit a lot more. But also, don't be irresponsible. Stay inside right now. We're not doing this for just yourself or one person. We're staying inside and trying to slow the spread for a number of reasons.
For everyone.
Absolutely.
Right.
And just listen to medical professionals and not to a meme that you saw on Facebook that says...
Oh, that's the second thing I'd start saying to people. I'd be like, listen to fucking science, okay?
Right.
God, not the invisible man in the sky.
Right.
Right? Yeah, it's very...
Science works.
I have had to not comment on things on Facebook because I hear
I can't get started.
Yeah. I've seen people making very ignorant, nasty comments
Yep.
when it infuriates me, especially because my younger sister is a nurse in an intensive care unit, working
risking her life for other people's lives.
Absolutely.
With these people.
Don't show them some fucking respect.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, just do your part. Okay, like we're not asking the world. Like, you know, it's just stay home. You've got Netflix. Stay home. You have snacks. Fine.
Or go outside, fly a kite away from people. Don't bother with
Walk
each
your
other.
dog. Everything's fine. Your haircut. Don't worry. No one's looking at your hair right now.
No.
Right.
No,
like, relax, people.
Nobody cares.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Or cut your own.
Yeah.
I had a conversation the other day with somebody about this because it makes me wonder what happens what if this occurred in the early 1900s? It would be a completely different story.
It
did.
Well, it did.
Here's my point though, is that back then you would have more of a reason to bitch that you have nothing to do. Right now you have everything at your fingertips. Video games, computers,
the world is at
everything.
your
It's
fingertips
right
right now.
here. You stay. Oh, I stay in this
Just hunker
basement.
down.
I stay in the basement and can do everything down here. Why do I need to go anywhere? Right?
Well, because a gym isn't open and it's good to walk and get some fresh air.
I got you there. I'm saying going out and being around a bunch of people inside of a Walmart is what I'm saying. Yeah,
I know what
different.
Yeah, my bigger problem is, you know, people wanting to force other people to go back to work and risk their health.
Absolutely.
In order to serve them mozzarella sticks. Like, it's not a good reason.
Actually, have you ever had a mozzarella stick though? No,
I have.
I'm having an especially hard time because there are petitions going around on Facebook. I don't want to get too deep into it because I could literally talk for like 3 hours about this. And
no, don't. Let's go back to toys. Toys are fun.
But
they make people happy.
Right.
I'm a hairstylist and I come way too close to people for comfort, and I do not give a shit about what your hair color looks like. You are not dying because your roots are this long.
Yeah,
and
have some roots.
Just shut up. Nobody can. There are much bigger things at stake than what you look like right now.
Well said, Heather. Well said. And
Back
those
to
are
toys.
our 3 random serious questions. And I know that you have a dog you have to walk, Reese, so we don't want to keep you too much longer. I know you've got things to do and all that kind of jazz. But I do want to say I really appreciate you coming on here with us and hanging out.
Dude, thank you. I appreciate it.
We really do. It's again, when we reached out to you, we didn't think it would happen this fast. I honestly didn't think you'd see the message this quick. So I'm just so thankful that you're able to turn this around and make it happen. And thank you also.
Well, I'm stuck at home, so you got me.
Thank you for showing a couple of previews here as well. That makes that makes it a big deal for us too. His little minis.
Freeze frame.
Oh. That's 3 minis we saw today.
I was looking at Chris. Damn it.
Well, that's why you have to rewind. You have to rewind. Reese, thank you again so much. And
thank you.
We are definitely in love with your product, and we can't wait to see what comes up for the rest of the year.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate that very much.
Yeah, man. All right. Take care, Reese.
All right. Thank you. Take care, everybody. Take care of yourselves. Take care of the people you love.
You got it.
All right.
Later, man.
Later.
Bye.
All right. Wow. That was an interesting time. So we went on almost an hour and a half, which was great. Very thankful to Reis for coming on and hanging out with us and answering our questions, answering some of your questions. I hope your burning questions that you had out there for Reis were answered tonight. If not, maybe we can make this happen again in the future and we can talk to him and learn some more stuff. It was really cool that he showed us some previews of things that are coming later this year. That's really exciting. I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen Reis on a channel quite like this before, so it makes us really excited to know that he came here and hung out with us. Out of all the other channels that are on YouTube, he chose us, and we really appreciate that. He could have said no, and he said yes, and that's great. So that's it. I don't want to go too much further tonight because I know we've been sitting here for quite a while. We're tired. All the excitement over the last 3 days for me has been building up to have this conversation with Reis, and I'll be honest with you, I kept it together. I really thought I was going to fall apart during all of that. I consider him a legend. I love the toys. I love designer toys and things. Funko, of course, is what got us into it, but now we're in love with these little guys. So talking to the guy that's behind this, the creator, is really, really something else, and this is something I'll never forget. I thought it was great.
It was really, really awesome. You know, my favorite part of the interview, well, I don't know if it was like my favorite part because like the whole thing was my favorite, but like my favorite little like tidbit that he gave us was that he was able to go backstage with Ghost.
Yes, that was cool.
And to me, I just picture Ghost or Tobias Forge fangirling over Reis, right? Because he made or designed
Absolutely.
a Funko Pop of him.
Right, of their likeness.
And Reis fangirling over Tobias.
I know.
Because of who he is.
I know. It's incredible. I mean, it's just like a crazy thing. And, you know, the fact that I just talked to the guy who designed this, that's awesome. I mean, just Tiny Ghost in general is awesome, but knowing that he created this as well is just absolutely amazing.
Something you wanted forever.
This is my top very favorite pop, the Ghost Pop. This is something we hoped for a long time, and it was here. And now we have Papa Niall. So that's another one that we're waiting for to come in the mail.
Oh, yeah, about that, Chris. Why isn't it coming into the mail?
It's not coming into the mail because I had it shipped to store, and it sat there waiting for me to pick it up. But obviously,
no, it wasn't waiting for you.
I
to
know
pick it up.
I know. I fucked up big time.
And then
so I had to reorder everything again, and it's a.
When did he come out? About 2.5, 3 weeks ago.
It's been a little while.
So Chris was like, "Well, I didn't realize stores were going to shut down." I was like, "Chris, stores have been shut down for like almost 2 entire months now. It's been over a month and a half."
No, I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm crazy.
He is crazy.
I didn't even pay attention to it. I'm just a big dumbass. What can I tell you? So we'll have a new video coming to you this Tuesday. It's a video that I edited today. It's already done, actually.
It's really good.
It's of my
cute.
son and I posing some Hot Toys, which is something we've never done before on this channel. It's something that I've been kind of reluctant to do because my kid is, he's 8 years old. He's going on 9. So it was weird to put him on this channel because he isn't really a face for the channel. But I thought it would be fun to have a little father and son bonding time to record it. And then I thought, well, I think it would be really neat if we actually posted this up and made it one of our YouTube videos. So that's exactly what I did. So I hope you guys really enjoy it. It's more of like his thoughts on collectibles and toys. Like he gives a little bit of insight on how he feels. And rewatching it, it's like he's like a little adult. I mean, it just seems like I'm talking to somebody that's my age. It's really remarkable.
He has been a little adult since I met him when he was 3.
Yeah.
And he's been a little adult since then, but
such an awesome kid.
Adorable to see him grow up and really become even more mature than that. And, when he's not crying because he barely scraped his knee, he's much more adult-like, Chris just ran away from me.
So I did want to show one last thing before we leave because we do have an audience here that's hanging out a little bit. So I've decided that for our 2,500 subscriber giveaway, I know what I'm giving away, and this was actually given to us by our friend Jeremiah. This was gifted to him, and then he gifted it to us, and I think that it doesn't really belong in my collection. I believe it belongs in the collection of one of our friends out here. We're going to be giving away a Luke Skywalker hot toy. So this is a Luke Skywalker. He comes from A New Hope. This is a very expensive figure. He has a light-up lightsaber. I believe we showed him one time before. It's a really, really cool figure. He comes with a rifle. He comes with a hat. He comes with a whole bunch of gear. This is going to be our 2,500 subscriber giveaway. And that giveaway will be happening hopefully sooner rather than later. We've already gained, I think we're up to 2,060 subs right now, maybe a little bit less or a little bit over. So we're climbing, and that's really great. So this hot toy could be yours in the near future. It's a really, really neat figure. I thought about keeping it, but it doesn't fit into our Marvel collection.
I thought about keeping it, but I just broke him by dropping him on his face.
I just knocked his face off. No big deal. But he's cool. The likeness is incredible. It's a really incredible figure. I just talked to Jeddah about this the other day in an instant message, and he was like, "Yeah, that's one figure that I'd like to get someday." So this is apparently a pretty sought after figure. I didn't know much about it until I started talking to some folks and looking them up online. It was just kind of handed to us, and we really appreciate Jeremiah for that. He's a good man.
He is. One of our cats is going crazy over there, so I'm not paying as much attention to
no
you
worries.
as I should.
Anyway, new video Tuesday, new video Thursday, and then a new video on Saturday per usual. And then this Wednesday we'll be going live once again. So come back here and hang out with us. We'll talk about all the toy news that's coming up this upcoming week and much, much more. Thank you so much for tuning in and hanging out with us. And thank you for those who are tuning in just because Reis was on here. Maybe this is a channel that you like to tune in the future as well, because we do some really fun stuff. We talk about Tiny Ghosts. We talk about Funko Pops. We talk about a whole bunch of toys, hot toys, a whole bunch of stuff. So come back and hang out with us again, okay? That is it for us here, guys. Remember, as always, we are together, yes! We will catch you next time.